Welcome everyone. Yeah, as I said before, this is a live AMA with Clinton Jones, the Punisher, that way. And we're going to be going through some submitted questions that we got from you guys, as well as going through some works in progress, and Clint will be giving a little feedback. I'm going to try to fade into the background a little bit and not interrupt or talk because this is really a wonderful chance for everyone to get some Clint time, and that's the great part of it. And so,
it's our time, we get to hang out and chill
together.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know who Clint is, which I'm sure that people do, he is a Quarter Crew alum, but has been making his own kind of, whether it's photography or lots of different disciplines, CG, obviously, been doing his own thing for a long time, and kind of started his own YouTube channel recently, and does Saturday live streams, and is really just an icon for the community, which I don't say like in a brown nosing way. It's really true. And so it's great to have you on, as always. So
dude, it's a blast. And like, for the people who don't know, I got to shout out Rococo just a little bit here too, because like y'all are stepping up. We're doing the CG challenge right now, the Infinite Journeys challenge, and y'all have a full motion capture performance bundle with the gloves and like the face capture and everything as one of the grand prizes. It's the new suit, the 2, which is amazing. I got it in. I hadn't tested it out yet. It's going to be within a week. I'm gonna have to record my animation for my scene in a week. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Rocket car
animation.
Yes. Yeah, sweet. Okay, so let's jump into it. I think that you've got probably the questions up, but I think even, do you want to why don't you read the question? And
are you sure? It's like, I can't, because then
okay, I'll read the question.
And read the question.
Respond. So yeah. And so for the first half of the stream, we're going to be answering questions, and then we're going to move to the work in progress kind of feedback, videos feedback at the end. So first question was from Maria NN, it says, but and the question is, I'm an indie filmmaker who just recently got into CG virtual filmmaking using Unreal Engine. When using the Cine camera in Unreal Engine, what is the best settings to use for the camera to give a cinematic look, in your opinion? So filming metahumans or 3D environments, or maybe there's changes between them. And yeah, how do you handle that? Good question.
Very good question. Yeah, so you say you're an indie filmmaker, which means you probably have some experience with a camera. That'd be my first piece of advice, is to like take a camera and go out and shoot stuff, even if it's just your phone, that's fine too. But get comfortable with a real camera. That way, when you're trying to recreate a virtual camera in Unreal Engine or Blender or C4D or whatever, like it's all based off of the real camera, right? So the more comfortable you are with a real camera, the more comfortable you're going to be with a virtual camera. It's the same thing. Now, specifically, like specific settings, I did a whole video on like my first year and a half in Unreal Engine, and I was like, here's all the things I learned, and here are things that I think can help you out for the people just starting. So it's on my channel. It's called, like, I forget the name of the video. It's an Unreal Engine one. It's like a dude with a silhouette like this in a club. It's like, I don't know, 6-7 videos ago, and it just goes over my Unreal stuff, and I touch on the cinematic camera, right? So cinematic cameras, you always see those bars on the top of the screen, and like usually nowadays we just slap them on top of our footage, but really what it is actually that's the true aspect ratio, and that footage is that widescreen 2:3:5. It's like 1 to 2:3:5 ratio. And there's like, in the film back settings, it's like 27 to 64 or something like that. And that is that aspect ratio. It's in this video. Not this video. It's in the video I'm talking about on my YouTube channel. It's called,
Is it called Cinematic Tips and Tricks? I think it was just linked in the Discord by Vigo Rococo.
Sweet. Yeah, it's the one. It's the one with like the silhouette of a dude in a club.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. So it's up there.
That's the one. Yeah, there's like, and I got the chapters in there, so you can click on the settings like that. Also, like knowing frame rates and whatnot, like 24 frames a second is like film standard. So I'm always trying to shoot in 24. incorporating dolly moves, that kind of stuff, jib moves, camera angles that you'd actually see done in real life in the movies. So studying movies. There's actually this book right here. Both of these books. There's 3 of them actually, but maybe I think my screen
okay,
is like,
it's like Master Shots is like the name of the series though.
yeah, Master Shots.
Master Shots.
And it goes over all the camera
cool.
angles, and like you can look it up by emotion. Like you want it to be scary, you don't want it to be like, you want to build tension. What is it? Power exchange, indecision, isolating push, a move to reveal, a reverse push, crossing, rotate out, tilt reveal, all that. It has like, it's like maxed out with everything. So these books are great. There's 3 of them in the series, I think. Master Shots. Yeah, so I'd look at that. And then what else? That's about it. Yeah, check out that video, look at my camera settings in the video, I go over specifics, and mess with the real camera, get comfortable with the real camera.
If you have to type in one aspect, or not aspect ratio, one aperture, whatever, like film
I think aspect ratio is right.
Lens, yeah, lens like setting, like what is it? Are you going to 50? Are you going to 120? Like if you're just like, I got a rock that I'm putting on, I just want to shoot a gorgeous little model I have.
Yeah. Yeah, the focal length is
focal length, yeah.
I like 35. You can't go wrong
Just
with 35, but a 50 is also really nice too, because then you have that like really blurry background. Like right now, this camera is what is it? I'm on a 24 millimeter, and it's a 2.8 aperture, meaning the lower the aperture number, the blurrier the background is. If I crank up the aperture, everything will start to come in focus. But you want that blurry background, it looks nice,
Yeah, cinema, which can be cinematic. Okay, that's a good one.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna jump to the next one. So and I've seen you've gone through some of these. Clint, do you want me to go to Joe or
no? Everyone.
Okay, everyone. So this one's from Florian Salvesberger, who actually had a in our recent Rococo contest, New Beginnings. He did the candle guy. Remember him?
Oh, so good.
Crazy candle dude. Yeah. So his question is, what is your biggest motivation / inspiration to create CG art? Love your work. You're the reason I started in 3D. And sorry for the title card in New Beginnings, he said, which I liked.
That's hilarious. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. That's great. That's really cool to hear. It's crazy that you got into 3D because of all this stuff. It's really sweet.
A lot of people did, honestly.
Really cool to hear. All right. So what's my biggest motivation and inspiration to create CG art? Okay. So when I first started doing 3D art, the idea that I could create anything I wanted, I could create anything I saw in my head if I had the technical skill to do it. If I clicked the right buttons, if I knew the program, I could create literally anything that I saw in my head. And that alone just got me so excited to create and to learn 3D. Because I love building things. I love Legos. I love drawing. I love, like, I don't know, paper craft stuff. I would have a lot more of it if it didn't just build up and clutter everything, because that's the only. Anyway, I'm getting way sidetracked.
You just be hoarding little creations.
Yeah, absolutely. Like little knickknacks. So that's always been a thing for me, being creative has always been a blast. And 3D was like the ultimate version of that for me. Especially someone who's like just by myself. Making a movie, that takes, oh my God, that takes so much, shooting short films, like, back in the day, Carbon Warfare or Killzone or the Wolfenstein or Sleeping Dogs, whatever, like those take so much money, budgets, and like bunch of people and professional, like not just random people. They got to be good at what they do so that you can make a good short. It's just so much that you need. But with 3D, you just need you and your knowledge of a program, and then eventually some like composition skills, some lighting skills, some storytelling skills mainly. And right now, what's got me excited for 3D, like I love 3D environments. I love traveling. First off, I love traveling. I love hiking. I love rock climbing. I love experiencing places that I don't experience every single day. Um, and I'm inspired by that. So I love doing photography. I'll take photos of it, and then I'll come back and I'll recreate those photos in 3D and spice them up even more, just to like have a mood or a vibe that's like, oh, I want to be here, or I remember this place, I want to recreate it. Yeah, just being able to create stuff and have it look photoreal and very imaginative, and even like a fantasy style to it. It's so like freeing to be able to create whatever you see in your head. So that's why I keep doing it. And I know that eventually when I make a movie, all of these 3D skills are going to help me out like tenfold when I do make a movie. So yeah, I'm just excited to create stuff, really.
I mean, it's crazy that, think about 10 years ago and what you could do versus an individual person now. And it's just like, that's
Yeah, seriously.
motivation right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good question from Florian. Next one we got from Joe Kachnik. And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but as a fellow colorblind artist, I would love to hear more about your experience navigating a world that seems to want more from us than we can always give it. I found my own ways of not letting it get the best of me, but I'm curious if you have any words of wisdom or tricks that you've learned over the years. Any words of encouragement to anyone out there who might think it's not worth learning 3D because they are colorblind or have a similar disability?
For sure. Yeah. Shout outs to you, man. Yeah, I figured out I was colorblind in elementary school, and I always had like, I love Top Gun, so of course I wanted to like fly jets. And they were like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think you can do that if you're colorblind. I'm like,
Yep.
dang it, that sucks. But get this, my good friend Max, he's a Marine. His uncle, it was an astronaut, and he, to go to space, you have to fly jets too, like kind of go up the ladder, right? And he was also colorblind. And I'm like, wait a second, hold on, you're telling me that like I could have done that if I wanted to, if I really wanted to, I could have. And he was like, well, I mean, they told me I was colorblind. They said you can't do this, and I just told him no. Like I just said, nope, I'm doing this. I guess you could just do that. Like, I don't know, like at a certain point. But here's the thing too, is like each one of us, if you got color, if you're colorblind, like I don't see in black and white. So many people are like, oh, do you see in black and white? No,
I know. Yeah.
it's crazy. You just get the colors mixed up and flipped around, right? So if you take one of those tests where it's a bunch of dots and like you see numbers,
Yeah.
like I see maybe, yeah, I see maybe like 2 out of the 16 numbers, or 3 or something like that. Which I'm personally not as affected by it every day. Like I don't think about it too much. Sometimes it really gets me when I'm color correcting. Red is not green. Like the color wheel is not inverted for me. I don't know if it is for other people, but I know there's severe, like varying cases of it. So I don't know what your case is, Joe, but I'd say, man, like don't let it stop you, and just do what you do because it's fun for you. And if anyone's going to tell you that you can't do it because you're colorblind, just be like, just do what Max's uncle did, and he was like, no, I'm going to still be an astronaut.
I'm just gonna do it.
Just dunk them, just like, just dunk them in there. Is any other question? He was like kind of a multi-part question. Any tricks or
any words of encouragement? Well, I think you kind of, anyone who think it might not be worth getting into it because they're like, I'm colorblind, what's the point?
no way.
Go to Max's uncle.
Yeah, if you're like amped about it, then do it. Don't like not do it because, oh, there's this one thing,
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Yeah, you had something.
So I'm red green too.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, same thing. Somebody said, and I had no idea you were, but until I saw this question, which you must have mentioned on a stream or something. But getting some in chroma, man, those glasses are pretty cool. They definitely have done something for me.
Oh, do they make prescription versions of those glasses?
They do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
Oh, no way.
You can get them custom made. Yeah, they just don't work indoors. But then somebody said in the chat, use the scopes, which is what I've always done. Use the scopes.
Yeah,
and it's just data, so you can do that as well.
Yeah. Nico is really good at color correction, and he showed me how to do that, and he also taught me a trick, like when I'm compositing in After Effects, to turn to isolate the channels red, green, blue. So it's
Mhm.
just black and white, and then you match your individual channels in black and white, and then when you turn it back on, it looks matched. So
Right.
that's a trick that I've used for compositing for VFX.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good question. So let's move on to the next one from Aiden Williams. So what's this is a classic. I mean, this is one I think we all suffer from. What's the best solution for lack of motivation?
Yeah. Okay. So there's like a checklist of things that I have to make sure I'm working normally. And the first thing is sleep. I'm making sure I'm getting enough sleep because it's the most
Mm,
important. There's a guy by the name of, dang, what's his name? He's like a sleep doctor guy. And then he has a book called Why We Sleep. And
hmm.
it's by Dr. Matthew Walker. That's his name. Yeah, he's got like a 3-hour podcast with Joe Rogan where he just goes into like sleep facts for 3 hours, and it blew my mind. I couldn't believe how amazing this guy was. And he's like, yeah, like a lack of sleep leads to all these things that, and it's so cool. It's so good. So getting enough sleep, that's for sure something that I gotta like, if I'm feeling off or whatever, like these are the things, like get sleep, make sure you're taking breaks, make sure you're going outside, like walking around if you can, like getting in
Mhm.
nature at some point. You don't want to just be stuck behind your computer, hunched over your keyboard, because there's only so long that you can go, in that setting. What else? Exercise. Try and make sure I get enough exercise to get my heart rate going, my blood flowing, flush out all the old blood. Um, like I love doing yoga. It's the best. It's a great way to get away from the computer and like get fresh blood going to different parts of the body. It
Mhm.
helps you wake up in the morning as well. And make sure you're drinking a bunch of water. Like those are all just things I do for me to stay uh, healthy in my mind, right? So, and I'm sure diet goes there too. Like if you're just eating pizza and like cheese fries every day, like I don't know how good you can feel after a week of that. So
Yeah.
that's assuming all this, right? That's assuming that you're not sleeping and you're eating cheese fries and all that. So those are just generally the things that I try and keep up on. I don't always, but that's like always like the top, the top list. And then from there, like I have a bunch of like art books down here. Let me see if I can pull some.
Yeah. What's your relation to those? Like, are you looking at those art books? And
Rarely if I get stuck. If I get
yeah,
stuck or
okay.
if I need to
Mm.
pull references, if I'm like specifically going for references, like I don't know, like there's this one. This is one of my favorite dudes. He's a Japanese photographer, Joe Nishizawa, I think, or Nishikawa. I think Nishizawa. But he's got like all these super cool. I've showed this before,
Oh
but
wow.
like it's a bunch of like super cool industrial factory kind of stuff, and like he's got a bunch of books on stuff you've never seen before. Like this is one of my favorites. It's a giant sewer system in Japan that helps like um yeah, like that's so crazy. There's all these like emergency little like tanks for the water to flow into and stuff in case of a tsunami. Like he's getting into crazy stuff like this. So I got like art books on a bunch of stuff here, different like old cities in China and step wells in India and stuff. And that really helps me just get my creative juices flowing. So those those are those are it for me. I also like to free write too. If you get stuck on something, you just start typing,
Oh, that's
even if you're typing like I don't know what I'm typing, I don't know what I'm doing, blah blah blah. Is a lot like you're at least typing, you're kind of breaking through that block. But yeah, just get outside, make sure you're going outside, go on walks, take time away from the computer. And I come up with ideas a lot of the time when I'm not trying to come up with ideas, when
mhm.
I've been thinking about it, but then I take a break and then it'll pop back in.
Yeah. It's amazing how it's all, and I think we take a lot of this stuff for granted too. It's like sleep. You're like, I was up all night doing cool art, and then eventually it's all connected, right? Your brain needs water to function well and like sleep and
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
Um, okay, a bunch of good ones, and maybe we'll put some of the books and stuff like in the link. We'll get them so that people can
Yeah,
check them out, like which ones they
totally.
are. Next one is from, I don't, maybe an anonymous person, but for realistic renders, what's the best way to texture and animate objects?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The best way to texture. So I took this as like, how do you, okay. This was my answer. Okay. So basically, what's the best way to realistically texture things, and animate things? And my answer was to use reference. I
Hmm.
took it as like, how do I get it to look real versus what's the best program to use? You know what I mean? So I would say use references. Again, that goes back to the art books, but we got Google. Just Google something real quick. I use PureRef. It's a program. It's like a free program where you can just compile all your references, and just pull from Google Images, and like build up your reference library so that you're actually referencing the real thing. That way you can recreate that in CG and it'll look as real as possible, not just what you think it should look like. Um, Another way to make your stuff look realistic is to include surface imperfections, and that you will see probably first and foremost when you pull references. You'll see that, oh, it's scratched on the edges here, it's dirty on top, but on the sides there's like rain streaks. So that just gives you, that's the cheat. That's the answer, is the reference, and then you just recreate it in CG. So that's how you get the most realistic textures. And same for animation, you're going to pull reference. Like last night I was trying to animate a windsock,
Hmm.
and I did my best to animate it, or simulate it rather, based off of what I thought in my head. But then I pulled up an actual reference of a windsock. I was like, oh, this is moving in a different way. How am I going to do this? So now I'm like, I got a puzzle I got to figure out.
Right.
How I'm going to match that. Um, so reference, that's the way to realistically texture and animate, is to use reference and go from there. Now, as far as programs go, I mean, you can do anything with whatever. you know
Yeah, they're all amazing at this point. I will also say it's great to, in a lot of your streams, when you're doing your infinite journeys or whatever, it's great to go. Like I've gone and watched your streams where you're using PureRef and you're kind of pulling up your references and showing how you do it and everything. So that's a great resource as well if you want to see it long form, which is, it's nice to see it long form too. You going through the whole process over the course of 3 hours and how you jump back and forth. And so that's a good
yeah, you can
resource too.
come and watch me struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Watch it live.
feel, yeah, like I do it live, and I'm like, man, this workflow, I don't know about this workflow, like it's kind of butt, I don't know. So come hang out, watch how I do it. And it's probably not the best way. We're all still learning, so
It's a good start.
um
It can be a good starting place, I think. Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Cool. Okay, let's keep cruising. And we got one from Luke. What is your suggestion for an upcoming 3D artist and creator to find their audience? Good question.
Yeah, great question. I'd say just be genuine to yourself. um as long as you're doing what you love doing, there's gonna, like, guaranteed there's gonna be other people out there who also enjoy what you love too. And it's tough on YouTube, my goodness. I was lucky enough to start my YouTube channel in 2006 when YouTube first started out,
Yeah.
and there weren't a lot of people on YouTube, and people doing VFX short film stuff was like, the only people doing that was like Freddie and I don't even know if Sam and Nico, uh, they weren't even doing anything at the time. They were doing VFX for feature films. I think they had directed one as well way back in the day. Um, so now it's much harder because everyone is doing it. It's so saturated.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, right, regardless of what platform you're on or where you're posting your stuff, if you're not being genuine to what you're creating, then people are going to see through it. If you're just following fads and doing what everyone else is doing, like, it's very tempting, and there may be times where it makes sense and like what you love doing is a fad and you can like mix it together. Like that's great, certainly. But yeah, I would say be genuine. And anything else, yeah, yeah, like, like I said, the more um let me click my brain thoughts here. Um wow. Yeah, I think the fact that like people are going to enjoy what you enjoy. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. So it may take time, it may take a long, long time. Just make sure you love what you're doing. Otherwise, you're not gonna, you know, you may not have the energy to keep doing something you don't love doing. So that's
As much,
about, yeah, that's
yeah. As much as authenticity is a buzzword, it is true. People can sense it when you're legitimately passionate about that stuff. It's
for
infectious.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so next one. How do you? Oh, this is a good one. How do you manage your time as a creator who has a big community?
Yes. Um, well, it's funny, I actually talked about this yesterday with Puget. We did a thing as well.
Oh
And
wow.
I talked about this day timer that I use. It's called the Monk Manual, and it's basically broken up into, it's like a 3 month little thing, right? And you have months, you have weeks, and you have days. And I like to, before I go to bed, review how the day went, how I can make it better the next day. And like this journal is like all set up for you, it asks you all the questions and you just fill in the answers. And then I plan out the next day. So I have a schedule and stay on schedule because of that, right? Without that, I'm kind of just like wandering through the day, and like the day will kind of make its decisions for me if I don't have a plan. So I really try and do that. And another thing too is figure out like what are the most important things you got to knock out first. And you spend your energy doing that first. So for myself, I wake up, try and work out every other day, and then I try and write every morning.
Wow.
And then I hop in to work, which is usually like I'll try and get through all the emails and stuff first, because those are those things I don't enjoy doing.
Right.
I'll get through the emails, I'll get through like the responsibilities, and then I'll go and I'll have lunch, I'll take a little break, and then I spend like the last big chunk 3 hours, like today, like right after this, right? I'm gonna go get lunch, and then I'm gonna just work on my Infinite Journeys 3D stuff for like 3 hours.
Your little
Because that's like
reward.
the, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the reward. Like you get through the day, and then the last 3 to 4 hours of the day is just like working on your art. I'm like, yes, okay, great. And then
Mhm.
that's a productive day. Then you take a break, make sure you take a break and chill out. So um yeah, yeah, I'd say that's about all I have on that.
So this is kind of connected. The next one from Kimi Kono. How do you normally tackle planning and doing bigger solo projects? Which I imagine, I mean, it's kind of the same. You need a plan, or how do you handle that?
Yeah. Yeah. So like I'm pretty bad at scheduling. Last year was the first year I went off and like did my channel on my own, and like
Yeah,
I just bit off way more than I could chew, and there's a point where I had burnout, and like I know there's a question leading to that in a little bit
there's
here, which I'll
you
get
had a
to.
great video about that too. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it, yeah, exactly. And like, so basically one of the things that I am trying to do this year is before I tackle any project, I write a schedule for the project before I dive into it. And the schedule has got to be like a proper schedule that gives me enough time to like do everything and make sure like, okay, I work backwards. So like, okay, I upload the video. Well, what do I need to upload the video? I need the video. Okay, what I need to do to make the video? I got
Mm.
to edit it. Okay, and then like also there's an edit. And it's like, okay, well I need to film it. Okay, well how long is that going to take? Work backwards. Okay, well I need to write it before I film it. Okay, if I'm going to write it, I need to know, like it usually starts from the writing a video, and then maybe even a step before that is like why am I doing this video, like what
Mm.
information is, why am I making this video? Am I doing it because like I'm currently having fun doing photo scans and uh want to share my workflow with people, or is it something where it's like I really need to learn how to do photo scans, right? And it's like, okay, let me document my process and write about it. So And then going back from there, like with this challenge, with this Infinite Journeys challenge, it goes even further back where it's like, okay, well, what's the challenge? Before I write the announcement video, I got to go back. Okay,
Right.
well, I need to know everything about the challenge. Okay, what are the rules and what is the challenge? And then what are the FAQs? What are the prizes? You know, and like there's so many questions that need to be answered. So I schedule all that stuff out, deadlines for XYZ. And even moving forward, there's like deadlines for locking the judges that are going to be on March 5th. We're going to do live judging. I got to lock the musician. You know, I have to schedule the top 100 montage. I have to schedule the all renders montage. And then I have to schedule my art breakdown of my scene. And it just goes all the way into like April, you know? So it's like a freaking like almost 4 months worth of work for this challenge, you know? So one thing I realized though is that a good schedule, you have no reason to stress out if you write a good schedule. Like life will be easy if you just have a good schedule. So I'm like remembering that, you know? So that's
And
my
then
goal.
nitty gritty wise, is this longhand? Are you in Google Calendar, or like where are you doing that? How does that process physically? You know, how do you handle that?
Yeah, it's like anywhere and everywhere. It's usually I'll just start in like a Google Doc or something and like write
Just a
out.
bullet pointed list.
Yeah, bullet pointed list. Like what are all the things I can possibly think of that I need to do? And then usually I can't think of all the things. They'll come up as I'm doing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that. Oh yeah, I got to do that. Oh yeah, I got to do that. And like when you build the schedule, you give yourself like double the amount of time you think it'll take, so that you can like fit it. You have time to like have it not be like, oh my God, this is so stressful, which was all last year for me. It was like,
right. Physically
ridiculous.
possible, perhaps, but not healthy, or, you know, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't healthy and it wasn't sustainable. So it has to be attainable for sure.
That's all good. That's useful advice, I think. Okay, so this is another good one from Retech. What's the secret to a good camera track in any given environment?
Secret to a good camera track. We'll have tracking points probably. There's tracking points everywhere. There's tracking points in this room. There's tracking points in both of our rooms, in Sam's room, in my room right here. Like everything, all these high contrast points, even this out of focus little hinge right here is a tracking point. The corner of that's a little tough. It might slip and slide. The middle of that box, that's a good tracking point right there. Like the top of that up there is a good tracking point. So like there's tracking points everywhere in the Lego. I'd say generally, like if you really are just starting out and you want to just ensure that you get a good auto track in After Effects or Blender or C4D, shoot with a high shutter speed so there's no motion blur. Shoot so the background isn't blurry. You know, we found that like worst case scenario that'll pretty much save you. Now, if you're trying to track the sky, the blue sky, good luck. One thing that I like to do is bring that footage into After Effects, and I will crunch it really hard. I'll like get the levels out. I'll bring the gamma down. I'll crunch the black, crunch the white, make it really contrasty. And then I'll run an unsharp mask on it to really pull out those points. And as long as it's not too grainy, that can actually help you. One thing too, if you're getting a bad track forwards, reverse the footage. Like literally like flip it, right? Flip it, or not flip it, but play it in reverse, right?
Yeah.
And then track backwards. And that will actually save you. I remember Ren told me about that one, and that like totally solved the problem, and it tracked it. Otherwise, you're going to be in, you know, whatever tracking program you're in, and you're going to be doing manual points, which is okay. Like it's kind of like you know, with animation, it's like a frame by frame kind of situation. You can't, it's tough. It's tough. You really like gotta do the little details, the frame by frame situation. And it's the same for tracking. So, you know, there'll be times where you're doing frame by frame and you're clicking next, boom, this is the spot. Next, oh, it didn't get it, here you go. And like that's just what it takes, and just have patience with it. So
yeah, always can be frustrating for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's another one from Anonymous, and we're gonna maybe we'll try and we got a couple more and we want to get to all of them, but we also want to have time for the feedback, so we'll try and...
I'm down to take like as much time as needed to get
okay,
through this.
cool.
So
okay,
yeah,
great.
like if you guys are good, I'm good.
We're good. Okay, so this is how do you make something look grounded in a VFX shot as if it was there in real life? And before you answer, I'll also say Pete had a great video he did on integrating footage. But what's like what would your answer be?
Oh, Peter France.
Yeah, Peter France. Yeah, he had a great like matching the black and whites and a bunch of little tips and tricks. But what are your like
Yes.
go-tos? I gotta make sure I do these things.
Yeah. So um use reference if you can.
Mhm.
What I'll do is, like, let's say I want to put a robot right here. I'll film the footage. I'll go stand there and I'll see how what my body does, right? I'll see
Right.
how the shadows interact with the back wall, with how my feet shadows interact with the ground. So at least I have something, right? From there, I like to capture custom HDRI. So I'll bust out like my Insta360
Mhm.
camera. I'll just put it in the middle of the room. I'll take my varying levels of exposure, comp them together in Photoshop just to automate HDR. So then now I'm lighting whatever 3D thing I'm putting there with the light from the actual room. So that's a huge one. You definitely want to make sure you have like I render my stuff out in two passes. I just do a beauty pass of the person or the robot or the object, and then a shadow pass that's comped underneath. And I'm comping the shadow based off of the reference footage of me standing there. I also have a whole video on this. It's called full VFX workflow. My full VFX workflow. It's an older video, and it has it's like an old newspaper box that you'd find on the sidewalk, like that you put a quarter in and open the metal door and pull a newspaper out.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the thumbnail. It's a blue one, and it's a full hour long video. It was for Maxon's 3D motion show, and I just go into it exactly that question, answering that exact question, showing you everything in C4D and After Effects. Um, Another thing I do is like you have to match the sunlight, got to match the light. That's one of the biggest things. And your custom HDRI is going to look a little different from your footage. So what I do is like I put a chrome ball in the scene, like a CG chrome ball. You can also put one in as reference in your real footage, but I'll take that CG chrome ball in 3D, which is reflecting my custom HDRI, and I'll make sure that like the footage that's behind that chrome ball, because you got to bring your footage in your JPEG sequence into
Right.
your timeline, right? You want to make sure the highlights in that footage matches the highlights in your HDRI. You also want to make sure the shadows and the color tint matches too. So I'll do a little tweaking in C4D to match that, so my footage and my HDRI match perfectly. Then whatever you drop in is just going to look nice no matter what.
Oh wow.
So
So you'll do tweaking of the HURI in C4D.
yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
just with some
Okay.
basic hue shift, little
Right.
hue, brightness, saturation, gamma is usually enough to just bump it in the right direction. Because it's already 95% there. It just needs to be like tweaked a little bit. And like I said, yeah, that whole video, full VFX workflow, uh, it's all in there. It's all in there. So
That's great. Yeah, that's some good stuff. It's always nice. I love having like little that's like some secret sauce that I don't know that if you're teaching yourself, it's easy to miss some of that stuff sometimes. Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. Okay. So this one's from Paolo. What would be your advice to intermediate artists who've already done some small commissions, to make the next step to making a full-time living with 3D? That's good too.
Shoot. Um, okay. So you got a little bit of work, but you want to take it to the next level, like part-time to full-time. Boy. Here's my experience. So I started out doing freelance VFX. Um, I got my first job through a pyrotechnician, like makeup effects house guy. His name's Joe Cornell. Still love that guy. We go way, way back. And he gave me work because he had clients who needed a little intro graphic here and there. And that wasn't enough. I was living with my parents,
Mm,
but it was like $350. Like, sweet. you know, oh, this one's $400, amazing.
Right.
um and like he knew that I was young, that I was trying to get work, and we were buds, you know. um so that was like a solid client, you know. Joe was like my client, he would bring work to me. um the more of those you can build up, the better. If you have like a steady, respectful group of clients that respect you, um and they know you're looking for work, let them know, hey, I'm trying to do this full time. Please, like, if you have anything, I'm down. Here are my rates. And if they're your friends, and if they're respectful, and like you're respectful of them as well, then you're just going to build up a great relationship together. And you want to keep cultivating those relationships um as much as you can, right? So stick with it. That's another one too. Stick with it, because if you stop, then yeah, and that's not going to work out. So you got to keep going. Don't give up. And what else? There's another thing. Building up clients. Oh yeah, know your worth too. Know your worth. You're doing work that is very specialized. You're in 3D. Yeah, there's a lot of people doing 3D stuff, but like still at the same time, doing 3D work and doing it really well is very, very hard to do. Um, and your clients should know that, how much work goes into it, you know. um so don't settle for less. And like, of course there are times where it makes sense, maybe you lower your rate a little bit to work with someone that you really want to work with. Like, you may not charge your max price for like your best friend, because
Right.
you love your best friend, you're going to work with your best friend, and it's like they know that you need the thing, so it's a back and forth. But yeah, just keep building those relationships and know your worth. And know that your worth will increase as you get better, and as your value will go up as you get better at 3D or your craft, whatever. So just know that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's probably all I have to say on that. Like, I'm kind of like a specific, not a specific, but like I don't know, it's weird. It's not the same anymore. Like, doing YouTube full time is like, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. And if I didn't have my channel in 2006, and like I was doing short films, I was doing stuff way different than like what I'm doing right now. Like, it's kind of similar, but if I didn't have that in the back like in the day, then it'd be way harder. It'd be way harder. So stick with it. I know it's really difficult. I believe in you.
Yeah, know your worth, I think, is great too, because people want to pay you an experience and stuff, and it's your time, it's valuable, and it is highly specialized, the CG work. So yeah, believe,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so hard being freelance, and especially starting out, and you're like, well, I am I worth this much? I can't believe I'm charging them this much. It's like, yeah, you probably are. You should do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so here's one from Benji. Do you have a favorite art style in terms of CG art? The new movies coming out, new art exhibit, and you're like, oh, I'm so
Oh
excited.
man.
What is that?
I my go-to is like the photorealism, trying to
Mm,
get it look as real as possible. So I'm always a fan of that. But I do so much of it that when I see the opposite, like Spider-Verse or something, I'm like, yes, so good. I'm playing a game called Sifu right now, and it's like,
so yeah,
oh, it's so hard. It's
yeah,
but it's amazing. Are you playing it?
I am. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard,
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard.
but
But
poly,
like,
kind of low poly style, and yeah, super cool.
yeah, you remember that submission of the little kid? I bet you that he saw the Sifu trailer, because like as I was playing it, I was like, wait a second, this feels like that submission.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
wonder. But yeah, I love that cartoony style, or like anime, like mixed with photorealism style. Like when you see cell shaded stuff like Borderlands, such an old reference, but like it's one of my favorite games of all time. So I love that style. There's also a part of me that wants to make more like avant-garde, uh, super abstract kind of CG art. Um, Maybe stuff that you would see in like you know you have these CG artists doing simulations and whatnot for
Mm,
different, like Nike or something, right? It's like, wow, it's so beautiful. I don't know what that is, but it looks so beautiful. I know that like it's so cool, but I probably won't be going down that direction.
Mm,
Just because, it's so far from like the style that I'm doing, which is more photorealistic and like nature, more so nature
right.
based and like more of a vibe. And like, but yeah, those artists are incredible.
Yeah. Um, okay, so here's one. What tools made your life as an artist easier?
Okay. Okay, very nice. Um, so yeah, when you first start out, you're probably on some like whatever computer. It might be your grandma's computer, who knows what computer you're on, but you're on some sort of computer because you can't create without a computer. Um, so the first thing would be a good computer. As we
Yeah.
get better, as you start making money doing this, or maybe you're just, working a normal job and like you start putting some away for a computer. So a computer is probably the first thing. If I was rendering off of my CPU, I'd be much slower than like a Quadro card, right? So
Right.
upgrading your computer. I personally love to have like things like a good chair helps out a lot actually. A comfy workspace that you actually want to be in. You don't want to
Mm,
be in a dungeon. You want to make it like nice, and like a place that
mhm.
you want to be. So that makes it easier too. And of course, like, different tools and plugins that help speed things along. Like friggin' your guys' smart suit, of course. Like I'm not gonna sit here and animate every
Oh,
joint. Are you crazy?
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get a smart suit. So that saves weeks. Um, like I know this my tablet here, my little pen tablet, that saves my wrists.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chair saved my butt and my back. I like to stand up when I work. What else? What else
All
helps me
things
work?
that some of those things you don't think about, especially when you're starting
Yeah,
out, maybe you're a little bit younger, your back doesn't hurt so much and stuff. And then eventually investing in those quality of life stuff really makes a huge difference. Like getting sleep, like not wrecking your back, having a bad chair, it's yeah, that stuff can matter too.
absolutely. Yeah, they're all things that like it's like in a video game, where you start spending experience points on things that will help you, but you may not have those experience points or the cash at first. But the more you do it, the more you stick to it, the more you invest in yourself, you're gonna start like, oh, I gotta get a smart suit, or oh, I gotta get like this plug-in,
Yeah.
for whatever you're doing, or a good chair, right? So those are
Yeah.
the things for me. Yeah, personally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else like that have sped up my workflow. I'd say ask for help too.
Ooh,
Ask
that's
for
a good
help.
one. That's good.
Yeah, if you can't do it all on your own, so
Yeah.
ask for help. That's definitely a good one too.
So this is another kind of this is I think anonymous, but and it relates to something earlier. But yeah, have you experienced creative burnout and how did you dig out of that hole?
Yeah, last year, like I was mentioning earlier,
Mm,
I when I left Corridor, I was like, oh man, I gotta crunch it super hard. I gotta post every single week. And just got to the point where like I didn't enjoy it. It was too much. I was like
yeah.
so stressed. I wasn't scheduling properly. I was yeah, I burnt out. I burnt myself out. And it wasn't chill. I would wake up stressed out. And there's other things too that caused it, like having my phone in my bedroom. Like recently this year I took my phone
Mm,
out the bedroom, got an alarm clock, and like, oh,
that's good.
I feel like waking up like
Wow.
I did when I was a kid, when I just had like a Game Boy next to my bed and I didn't have like a phone access to the internet. That's how I feel now. It's like the best. It's so good. Um
Huh. That's great.
yeah. But okay, so back to the question. Is it have you
Well, how
experienced
did you
burnout?
so then so that happened and kind of the things that you loved were now things that you were like
Like,
this
yeah, yeah,
hurts
yeah.
me now, which is so sad. It's not that's even worse when it's like something that you used to love and now it's doing the opposite of that. How did you turn that
Yeah.
around?
Um, I slowed down.
Yeah.
I just slowed down. I was like, I'm not posting once a week. I'm posting twice a month. That
Yeah.
was the first most obvious thing. The second thing was to just get help, invest in myself, and like invest in my health and get help. Not like therapy help, though I am in therapy, like that's awesome.
And
But
therapy is
like,
great. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. um but more like have someone edit the video, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, at the end of the day I have to write the video, but I don't need to be the one editing the video. I can be writing the next video while someone edits the video. So like slowly, you know, getting help like that has been amazing. What else do I do to tackle it? Take a break. Yeah, go out, go for a hike, go for a walk, go on a vacation if you can. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, just get away from your computer and relax a little bit. And scheduling, you know, I for me it was just the stress. It was a ton of stress. It
Mm.
wasn't like the burnout was just I don't want to do this anymore. It was I'm so stressed out, I can't do this anymore. And scheduling, proper scheduling really helped me, like, or so far is helping me with the stress. You know, I just don't want to be stressed anymore. And like that's why I took the phone out of my bedroom. I'm like, I don't I wake up literally as soon as my alarm goes off, which is like the submarine one. It's like because I don't want to not wake up. So I'm like, ah, and I pick up my phone and then I just go to Instagram. I'm like, man, what am I doing? And I start looking
Mm-hmm.
at emails and I start looking at texts when I'm not ready to respond to them. So then I start missing emails and
Oh,
texts.
wow. That's
It's
a good
like,
idea. Yeah.
yeah, you know, and it's like I'll only check my email when I'm ready to answer them, not when I just am bored and want to
Right.
see if I got an email, you know? So
That's great.
like
That's
little things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Taking the cell phone out of the bedroom, I think that's really good as well.
Dude,
This is
yeah,
this. Oh no,
I was gonna say, take your cell phone out of the bedroom, replace it with a Game Boy Color. See,
that's
like, just
great.
see, yeah, or a
You can
Game
get it
Boy
for
SP,
cheap.
or
Get a little
yeah,
Yoshi's Island going. Yeah. Yeah.
seriously.
This also is kind of the same theme from Charlie. How to balance relationships and being dedicated to your work and creating content daily. Very relatable to many people, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so how to balance relationship, being dedicated to your work and creating. Okay, got you. Yeah. So there. Oh man, I should have got this dude's name. Camp MoGraph last year. If those of you who don't know, Camp MoGraph is the best thing ever. Look it up. It's just like 6 days. I think I'll be there. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm going to be there. Participate in Infinite Journeys. You might be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah,
were?
the first place winner of Infinite Journeys. Not only do they get the Rococo suit, the Max on One annual subscription. Oh God, I'm doing this now. What else did they
Do that.
get? What else did they get?
They get the frame,
The Looking Glass
the looking
portrait.
glass.
They get a MoGraph.com course. They get a Wacom tablet size of their choice. They get a Rococo full mocap suit, the new one with the gloves, the face capture, all the stuff, and they get a all expenses paid trip to Camp MoGraph this year in, I believe, in September in Virginia. It's on the beach at a camp, 6 days or something. And then they get the Max on One annual subscription. I think that's everything. I'm so sad if I'm forgetting something. That's bad. So okay. What was I saying?
Relationships. I don't know how we
How did it go there? How did it get to that?
I forget how as well.
God,
How do you balance relationships and being
horrible.
dedicated?
Oh,
going outside and just yeah.
No. It was there was an artist there.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He was talking about his name was Austin, I think his first name was. And he was talking about how he has time that's for sale, time that's sometimes for sale, and time that's never for sale. And I was like, oh, that's good. That's so good. So the time that's for sale for me is 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The time that's sometimes for sale is like 9 o'clock. If like someone is on the other side of the world and like that's like 7 p.m. for them,
Right.
it's like, okay, I got you. And then maybe it goes to 7 p.m. The time that's never for sale is like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and late into the night, because that's my time to chill, hang out with fiance, go for a walk at night, go just cook or something. Or maybe even just keep working on my art, like if I want to keep working on my art, I had the choice, but like, that's not the first thing I do. It's like, I got to get away from the computer. If I want to come back, I can come back. So you just have to block out the time. Again, back to scheduling. I'd lock off the first part of my day for the important stuff. And then I block off the last part of my day for time with friends, especially the weekend too. Like when I'm done streaming, that's why streaming is so hard. Like every single weekend
Totally.
is crazy. It's like I barely have time for me. So you know, doing it this month, every single week this month is fine. It's been great. Like I got a new schedule. It's awesome. But normally it's once a month.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just need to take time for yourself. I think that's really the most important thing.
And there's a perception that is like that time is helping your creative. Like having that separation actually it's not only like helping you personally, it's actually helping your art, I think, too. All that stuff, having a healthy relationship with your work it makes it better. It's not just that you're not doing it, it's actually making it better by doing that,
Yeah,
sometimes, I think. Right.
absolutely. And you pull ideas from life,
Yeah.
you don't get I remember Nico said this. He was like, you don't come up with ideas when you work. You come up with ideas when you're living life. It was something like that. I think he said it better. But it was something like that. Like you don't work to work, you live.
You don't live to eat, you eat to live, or maybe it's one of those or something.
Um, it was more along the lines of like you come up with good stuff when you're not working. Like which doesn't mean you can't come up with good stuff when you're working. It's just that like you pull inspiration. I think it was like you pull inspiration from life. You don't pull inspiration from you sitting behind a computer working on your thing.
Yeah.
It was something like that. Yeah, Nico will say it better, but yeah.
Okay, so a couple more and then we'll jump over to the some feedback. Okay, so this is from Anonymous. Okay, this is interesting.
This is a good one.
This is a good one that I think I'm with you on this one. Is the new generation of artists who's kit bashing and kind of collaging things in 3D art, is it ruining 3D art? And why does kit bashing kind of have a taboo? And for those of you who don't know, that's basically, what Beeple does. Beeple doesn't create the models he uses. For example, he gets them from other people have made them and he kit bashes it all together and he creates the final project. And is that ruining 3D art, which is what I think a lot of us do? I don't make my models. And so, yeah, throw it down. What's your opinion?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so much to talk about here. So, first to preface, kit bashing is not like, I don't think of it as lesser or wrong or anything like that. The people who built all the models for Star Wars, that's kit bashing. They're pulling spare parts from model kits and they're putting them together to make something new. You've been doing that for a long time. So we do it in 3D now. I think the issue is that everyone uses the same packs. Like, so everything just feels like a copy of everything else, right? Ian Hubert, he invented his own style because he photo scanned and built all of his little pieces that he's putting together, and he's crushing it. Like, he's absolutely crushing it. And you have so many people who are inspired by Ian. They're taking his kit bash pieces and making their own thing. But you're not going to develop your own style and your own voice copying someone else's style. You're only just going to be like you're going to be like a side version of what this person who invented that look is, So I think to truly like come up with your own voice and your own style, which might be the hardest thing to do for artists, period, is to maybe start making your own kit bash packs, make your own custom kit bash packs, and then you will actually start to develop your own personal style. And like, it's going to be super unique. People are like, whoa, what is this? It's like, oh, it's my kit bash pack. It's what I like. It's my secret sauce, and there's nothing wrong with kit bashing. It's just that like, oh, that's that. Like, what you made is just a like kind of a copy of what this other person created, basically. Now, when I first started drawing, I would copy other artists' drawings. When I first started like 3D stuff, I would model things that already have been modeled for video games because I loved those video games and I wanted to model my favorite character from my favorite game. Is a great way to learn. But if you're trying to develop a style, you're gonna need to break away from the same kit bash kits that everyone uses. It's like in music, you know. I don't know. Maybe I'll get in trouble for saying this. This is just my personal opinion. But with like modern day rap music, to me, a lot of it sounds the same. It's the same it's the same cadence, it's the same tempo, it's the same flow, and it all just sounds the same, you know. And you could probably say the same about rock music too. When something gets popular, everyone copies that one person, and it just sounds the same, and no one's unique. And it takes someone kind of standing out from that and doing their own thing that may not work at first. They may not follow this fad, and it may not work, but sometimes it does, you know. And I think that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. There's just a handful of kit bash packs that everyone uses. Make your own. That would actually be pretty cool. That'd be really fun to make your own kit bash pack. So yeah, nothing wrong with it. They're just darn popular. They're just really, really popular. And like
I think also there, it's like there kit the models that you're using in your scene is such a small part of what a scene is. You know, just light, for example. How, you know, you have the same scene and you light it two different ways and it becomes something completely different. But yeah, it's a weird thing. What a lot of what we do is CG people do, is especially if you're a generalist, because you're like, it's like a collage of some other people's work, but it's also yours. And yeah,
it's like a remix. It's not quite a remix, but it's like, I don't know, maybe it's its own kind of thing.
I think
also,
yeah. No, please.
No, go ahead.
No, I need to not interrupt.
I am curious to hear your opinion on all this, but I was just gonna like cap off my opinion with I think it's also stopping us from learning the more like fundamental things we need to know as 3D artists, like how to 3D model, how to texture. Those are probably two of the main ones that the kit bashing thing takes away from us. Is like, oh, I don't need to model, I don't need a texture because it's already done for me. So it's like, no, learn how to model, learn how to texture. Your stuff will be way more unique that way. You're going to develop your own voice that way, and your people are going to be referencing you now, you know?
Yeah. And in that process, I think you learn a lot of things that you don't get if you were just using off the shelf assets. And even if you just do you make one chair, it's like you come out with so much more knowledge about surface imperfections or whatever it is. And so that can be very useful, even if you are kit bashing everything. Give one thing a go, you know, model one object in your scene maybe. But yeah, it's a funny thing. I definitely have those doubts because I use a lot of models and I'm like, I'm like, post this on Instagram and it's like, did I make this? I can't tell anymore. Like it was, I have ended up at a place where I feel good about it, but I think it's a very legitimate thing to feel. And also, you know, hey, the third most, what is Beeple? He's like the third most money making or something living artist today.
Yeah.
He kept bashing the shit out of all of that. But just look at the weird stuff, ways he's using it. You know, they're all super bizarre.
I think he does it like, he certainly kit bashes all the stuff. I think another thing is he pulls from multiple different sources, but he has his own style. He's managed to create his own style using those pieces, as opposed to copying someone else's style. And maybe at first he copied someone's style and it developed, and your taste and your style grows with you. But yeah.
I think there's a lot of room to play in it. Okay, anyway,
that's a great question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think it's a very new, maybe it's not new, but it kind of is. CG is so new. It's easy to forget how new of an industry. And as an art, you know, this is, people write theses and this is real, you know, it's art just like anything else. And it's easy to kind of forget how new it is. And it's completely a new art form.
Yeah.
So Abhishek Nambi, how do I become more consistent with my artworks being high quality?
Cool. Good question. Yeah, I think I'd say keep at it. Keep doing it. Don't be bummed out because it's not where your art isn't where you want it to be. Like I said, if it bums you out and you stop doing it, then you're not going to get better because you're not doing it. You're only going to get better if you keep doing it, and it's going to take a while to get better at it. Absolutely, it'll take a while. But I think the more consistently, does this make sense? Okay, like the more consistently you put bad work out, the faster you will achieve good work. I don't know, something like that. There's probably like a fancy quote.
Yeah, that's good though.
Yeah. Like I'd rather consistently put out bad work than not put out any work at all, because at a certain point, like you're getting better, you're just leveling up, and just because you create something in 3D doesn't mean you have to post it. Right. Which is something that blew my mind. I think Ashthorpe said that. He was like, dude, I got stuff that I have made that I even love, but I hadn't posted it. I'm like, what? You can do? What do you mean? You that's possible? And he's like, yeah, definitely. Like that was for me, and like it wasn't for anyone else. And I was like, wow, that's nuts. To make something amazing and not post it is like, especially now, like, are you crazy?
And there's some good quote about not being a perfectionist and how that can hold you back, or good not great, or something, progress not perfection, all those. But there's like
progress not perfection. Yeah, that's so good.
Here it is. And I love this quote. I don't know who it's from, but it's probably from someone famous. No art is ever finished, merely abandoned. Which I think is so true. It's like you can keep going and adding details and adding, like at a certain point, it's not like wrap it up, send it or whatever, or don't post it, but finish it, say it's good enough, move on to the next thing, and don't hold yourself to that. Like it's got to be perfect. And then it never goes anywhere.
Yeah, I think you're going to learn a lot more from finishing something and moving on to another thing that you finish. I remember Andrew Price was talking about this. He was saying how like, he would rather, this has been a while ago, this was on the Corridor cast that we did with him. He was basically saying like, I would rather you complete projects every week or every month that are subpar, but at least you're completing them, versus spending 5 years on a passion project that never gets completed.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, so I there's a couple more questions I want to ask, but then also like so the chat, I've been looking at it. Let's do like a rapid fire. Put your questions in the chat. We're gonna do like, you got 10 seconds to answer these questions I'm gonna ask you from the chat. Throw those questions in the chat, and we'll do that really quick, and then we'll move on to work in progress. While you're doing that, 2 more. Do you think crypto art has a future? A loaded question.
Yeah, I don't know. Simple. Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I think it's a cool idea. I think it just needs more genuine people, with some wins. I think that's what it needs. Genuine people with some wins, not scammers who are getting away with stuff. That's what, and you got to highlight the wins by the genuine artists. I think that's what it needs. But yeah, I would hope it has a future.
Yeah. And both chats, I'm looking at Discord, I'm looking at YouTube. We're going to go through them both. Who is your favorite director? You got to choose one. I saw you put a little list here. Come on. Choose one.
Maybe one per genre. Okay. Denis Villeneuve, however you pronounce his name. Yeah. He recently did the Dune movie. He did Sicario. He did Prisoners. He's amazing. Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, he's the best. That's for like my dark drama director. My favorite action director of all time has got to be James Cameron. He's the best ever. He's the best. And then for comedy, my favorite director would have to be, man,
you got a good one in here for comedy and action.
It's a split between Jackie Chan and Stephen Chow.
Mhm.
It's so hard to choose. Okay, that's my answer.
Okay. And again, I'm seeing questions being thrown in the Discord. I'm going to give you one more question, pre-submitted question for you
Yeah.
guys to put your rapid fire, and then we're going to do rapid fire, and then we'll move on to a quick work in progress feedback. Fastest way to improve your 3D skills: school or teaching yourself?
Well, if those are your only options, I don't know, teaching yourself maybe, because you that's a dumb answer. Teaching yourself because uh you have more hours available to teach yourself than you do to go to school. That was a lame answer. But I don't know. It really depends. Are you someone who is like self motivated and like you I feel like most of us wanting to get into 3D, we love it, and we have all these resources available online. Just YouTube the
Yeah.
things that you want to learn, and like uh take basically whatever you're interested in, whatever you're excited about, keep lighting that fire and keep it alive and keep having fun. Just keep having fun learning. Um it won't always be fun learning, but just try to keep having fun with what you love doing. And the more you can have fun and like push yourself to learn and get satisfaction from that, then you're gonna max out. And you keep it up, because it's fun, right? Not because you
Yeah.
have to. And then for school, like, yeah, some people choose to like go to school because it's like a structured, regimented thing. They got access to all the programs, they get access to teachers, they get access to other students who are like doing cool stuff. So there's like a big community there as well. So it really just depends on like, what your situation is and what you want to do. I'd say you can't go wrong either way.
I think
Personally, yeah,
school's great, but you got to be an autodidact in this industry because new things happen all the time. And you just, even if I think because I went to school for CG at one point for a little while, and if you got to be doing it on your own, even if you're in school, you
yeah,
should be teaching yourself things anyway, and it should always be a part of your that's just the way it is. You get done with school and then metahumans come out. It's like,
yeah. You can't go back to learn. Like,
yeah, you got to teach yourself.
that's a very good point.
It's a good skill to have. Okay, we're gonna do the rapid fire for the ones that are out. I'm cutting you off if you don't answer quick enough.
All right, what's my time limit?
Like 10 seconds, a sentence or two. Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite 2021 movie so far? Oh no, 2021.
Dune.
Oh, I mean, Dune. That's good.
Yeah, Dune.
Okay. That was from Greg. Any tips for doing a one-man mocap session? Like talking to yourself or something. Any tips?
Make sure you can see your mocap on your computer screen while you're mocapping to make sure it works properly.
That's good. Favorite genre to work on: sci-fi or fantasy?
I guess it'd have to be sci-fi.
Yeah,
I'm not happy
like
about it.
Sci-fi for you. Yeah. What do you think about metahumans? You like them or not?
Why not? They're great.
Yeah, that's good. Who's the best Spider-Man actor?
Oh, I will add to that last one. They need more clothes. Come out with some clothes.
Yeah,
the best Spider-Man actor. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't watch movies, man.
I've seen the last one. It was fine. I don't know. Best Spider-Man actor. Who cares?
Have you ever tried Blender?
Sorry, that was harsh. Yes.
Sweet. You like it?
I don't know. It's fine. It's just another.
If you had to start again, C4D or Blender, what are you starting in?
You just want me to say Blender?
No, I don't.
I'm not gonna say.
Okay, good. I'm C4D too for life, ride or die.
It's skewed. I feel like everyone wants me to say Blender. If I had to start again, dude, if I had no money and was like, what's 3D? Yeah, Blender. I'll start with that. I'll go from there.
Over resentful. What do you think about VTubers from Pixel Fire?
I think it's pretty sweet. Yeah. I think it's actually really cool.
Favorite 3D software like that you're looking at? It's probably on
Well, Unreal Engine, but
Unreal Engine.
also
Yeah.
Substance
Substance.
Painter. You learn that.
If you were in the bowling alley animation that Corridor did, what would you have? Were you in that? I can't remember. What would
No,
you
it
have
was
done?
not.
Horrible bowling alley animation idea.
Yeah, yeah. I have not put any thought into this. Um, I
Okay.
don't know, a birth scene. I don't
Oh
know. Who
wow,
knows?
that's good. A birth scene. Do you like cake? And then that's it. Then we're moving on.
It's okay. Ice cream cake's good.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a sweets person either. Okay, so now thank you everyone for your questions. I know we're going over, but thank you, Clint, for being cool with
Chilling.
that. And we're gonna look
Yeah.
at some of these works in progress. Thank you everyone for doing it, and we're gonna cruise to the next thing. So I can open these up, or I don't know if you want to share your screen. But I could
I
share
certainly
my
can. Yeah,
screen.
that way I can like
Do you want
click
to
on
do
the
that?
parts I'm
Do you
talking
have
about.
access? Yeah, they're in
Yeah,
that email that we sent you.
I do. I just have to pull up the email. I don't have them downloaded.
I think that's fine. It should be fine.
Okay. I'll download them because I don't want to like have email stuff
Okay.
on.
We're gonna download things.
Give me a second. I don't know if I have audio. Who
I think
knows if my
that's
audio transfer?
also okay because we'll put the links in the description of the video on YouTube and everything. But yeah, three
All right.
amazing pieces that some of them are works in progress, or what, I don't know even if they are, but they were posted in the works in progress channel and they're all great. I thought they were all amazing, and we're gonna look at get some feedback for them.
I feel like we should, if we can get the audio, we should. Like, if they're on YouTube,
I might be able to. Hold on a second. Okay, everyone bear with us for 1 second. Thank you again, Clint, for chilling with us for a little extra time. A lot of extra time. Hold on. Let me go.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a mix. If you're seeing levels, my levels, your levels, and then you would see like these levels.
I don't see a mix, but I can share audio or whatever. And let me just download this really quickly. Start. Oh, temporary unable to access this video. You know what? I'm just gonna pull it up on YouTube and we'll just do it there.
Yeah, YouTube's perfect.
Hold on, let me move this guy and okie dokie. Let me share the screen. Optimize for video, share sound.
Cool.
Share. Okay, you should be seeing can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's like super pixelated, but it's cleaning up. Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're gonna watch the whole thing, but maybe
You're good though. It looks good. Yeah, it looks good.
It looks good enough. Okay. Well, I'm gonna turn the audio down a little bit. So this is Act. This is a music video that was submitted.
Yeah. This is so cool. I love how unique this is. I love the vibes. Down. Yeah, I also love the music too. It's like really cool. You're like the way that you're putting this together. Yeah, this is from what's this guy's name?
So yeah, let's okay, so this is from Simon Breveld. And Simon. I'll read the description as we watch maybe. Sharing my latest work I did for a Belgium band named Ect. I made it alone in a month, so it's filled with crappy renders hidden behind grain, but overall I'm pretty happy with the result. Because I'm mostly a director, I'm focusing on my craft of being able to tell stories, so sometimes I sacrifice technical precision to save up some precious time versus story over technical precision, I guess. Started in 3D in Blender a year ago. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's
still trying to figure out my style. Yeah, and I'm curious what you think about the old school character and cinematic feel he tried to create. And yeah,
I love it. I love it. I think this is very unique. It's very creative. You can definitely tell that you like know your angles, you know your shots. Like just the shot right here, this dolly shot you're doing is like super cool. You have another world to this. It's not just the guys in the room. There's like this whole other world to it, and it perfectly matches the music. It's so well done. Notes. I have a couple notes actually. And I don't know if I should get into them now or if we should watch the whole thing. What do you think?
I don't know if we should watch the whole thing. I mean, let's get into them and maybe I'll try to kind of jump around. Jesus, I didn't watch this whole thing, but it is so good. Oh my God, what is happening?
No, it's
this
amazing.
is crazy.
It's amazing.
What a trip. Okay, I'm gonna turn the volume down.
Can you full screen it by chance?
Yeah, sure.
So my first note, okay, first off, yeah, it's flashing lights, so be careful if anyone is
epilepsy. This is like the most epileptic. I'm just gonna skip.
Okay, look at the bars. You see the bars? You see how the displacement hits the bar? Yeah, that wouldn't happen. So definitely make sure that that's not happening. If you have to scale your footage up by like 1% and then throw your bars on top of that, do that, because yeah, you can tell that it's like fake cinematic aspect ratio. So I mean,
like
knowing you
roughen edges on After Effects animation.
Yeah, it's like a I think it's a displacement map or something going on, or like something like that. So I would knowing this guy, very cinematic, maybe you didn't notice it. Who knows? But yeah, you probably want to get rid of that just by putting some bars on top of it. The other like I think it's great. Go back to the beginning with the guys in the garage. Yeah, so like you photo scan the room and you threw these characters in and you're shooting it in a way that looks real. You're using camera movements that look real, but then you're like, look at that, so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And so it's just masterfully done. I think it's amazing. And then you like warp reality like this too, which is super cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I think what are my other notes here? Let me double check. Oh, go to the atmospheric shots at 115. Yeah, like once it starts getting orange, right here. This bugged me a little bit just because like, you know, you're focusing on like the janky geometry from your photo scan, and this doesn't have a subject either, and you have those flashing lights that are distracting. I feel like those two shots, they need a subject. That would be my only like I guess my second note. I think they could be a little cooler. Yeah, it needs some sort of subject other than like broken geometry, you know. It's artsy for sure, but like
Simon's in the chat right now, man. It's great. This thing is crazy. I
yeah,
cannot believe
it's amazing.
A year of blend. I mean, that is, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. And he's crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. So much work goes into this, and this little bug too.
Oh my God, this bug is a guitar pick.
Yeah,
I think, right? Is that what the bug is?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I didn't get that the first time.
I love this shot. This shot is so good.
Oh, I love those little dynamics.
And look at the you see the antennas?
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, it like is whipping. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So I mean, hats off. If I had a hat, I'd take it off. This is great. This is absolutely wonderful.
I love this.
Simon, was it you said?
Yes, Simon Breveld.
It was so good that like I clicked on the next video by this band and listened to their like album, their live album performance, and was jamming out and was just hoping for some more cool visuals by you. And it fits the band perfectly based off of their like live vibe. They used a lot of like flashing lights and stuff and different projections. I think you nailed it. Yeah, great work. Your visuals match the music too.
Oh, the little the light. Totally guitar pick. Haha, he's saying confirmation. Yeah, unreal. Anything else to add?
No, it's amazing. All of these submissions are amazing. Just watch out for your black bars at the top and bottom.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna jump to the next one. So this, let me open it up and so this one, this one's friggin' crazy too. From Eric Spaceman, might not be their last name, who knows? Posting this for feedback with Clint. This is my second video in an ongoing project, and I'm just gonna play it. In an ongoing project.
Are incredible.
and I'm just gonna mute it. Sorry. To make educational space videos in his spare time. I just started my channel last year. Been learning Blender for 14 months. Oh my god, you guys,
Crazy.
you're making me.
I know, seriously.
Oh, my first video, I didn't have the suit for, and I'm terrible at hand animation. So my movements were really wooden, but the smart suit, which is here, which is just the body for my second one, has allowed me to get much better with more natural micro movements as I narrate. I haven't done a great job with the hands in particular because he doesn't have the gloves, and I think I'll move more in the next video. People keep telling me the audio isn't great and I'm moving the camera a little too much. And so those are the things I'm working on for the next one. So yeah, what do you think? This is also bananas.
Yeah, this one's super cool. It feels really unique to me. I love your color. I love the suit itself. I just love that you went all out and you made a whole complete thing. Like that's just the coolest thing to me. Your character looks incredible.
I know how. So it's also, sorry, it's Epic Spaceman, not Eric Spaceman. Although
Got you.
I kind of like Eric Spaceman, but Epic Spaceman makes a little bit more sense, and he's in the chat as well. Epic
Shout out to
Spaceman,
him.
it's crazy. If you could just answer how in the chat, how is the face done? Is that CG? I thought it might be comped at one point, but it can't be. No, it can't be comped. He can't be doing.
No,
his
it feels like a
camera movements.
metahuman. I think it feels like a metahuman with like your guys' facial capture stuff.
Oh god, so crazy. Anyway, sorry. Don't interrupt, Sam. What else? What else do you think?
So I don't even notice the glove situation that you're mentioning with the hands. Like I didn't even notice it when I was watching. I was just really looking at the information you're dishing out and how like this transition right here is so good. I love that transition. You're doing a great job of using like big, cool sweeping camera movements and animation and stuff. I would say sometimes the sweeping camera gets a little dizzy, like a little dizzying, just a touch. And I know that I actually had that note before I read your note about the camera stuff. So that's cool. That's cool that like you're aware of it. And I also had the mixing note too. I think your dialogue is a little loud, or rather your music is a little quiet. And you also had that note too. So I think it could benefit from a sound design pass as well, to really make it like feel full and complete. And just your mixing, I think that's your big thing. This shot right here, boom. He looks like he has one eye or some weird eye patch because of the reflection. So I would get rid of that reflection there. If you were shooting that for real, you would use a polarizer to get rid of the light there, or the reflection rather. So yeah, little stuff, man, very, very tiny stuff. Right here, I also had a note. I feel like you can be moving with the camera and keeping your eyes locked to the camera, like you're talking to the audience. I think that'd be a good way to connect your character to the audience as opposed to him just standing still. And again, you did mention you're gonna move a little bit more.
Looking at the camera as it moves.
Yeah, like as it goes, like you're kind of like walking with it and like talking to it and like walking around and you're presenting to the audience, and then super cool, like he films himself and he's like, yo, this is why I made this, and it's awesome. I think the information you're dishing out and the way you're dishing it out is incredible. This is another one where it's like I barely have any notes, other than those two notes with the mixing and with the sweeping camera. Can get a little dizzying at times, but you're already aware of these things. One last note: the ballpoint pen when you go to the sun. I don't know if you can scrub to that point.
Is this the noise?
No, not noise, but when you zoom into the pen, yeah, you just I think you just.
I think it's coming up. It's
okay. So you compared the Earth to the sun to give us a sense, and then you zoom the sun down to the tip of a pen. But I thought that the tip of the pen actually looked like Earth, so I was a little confused.
That's interesting. Totally.
And I figured it probably wasn't, but I still thought like, is it? So I'd probably just change
a little
that
too much when surface imperfection gets a little too crazy, perhaps.
Yeah,
I think that's what that is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like a blue ballpoint pen, but it looks like Earth to me. So I'll just be careful about that clarity note. Yeah, I think it's super well done, absolutely incredible. And Yeah, keep it up. I can't wait to see the next one. That was great.
God, and Epic has been in the chat, and he's considering a change to Eric Spaceman, but it's footage of his own face projected onto a photogrammetry model of his
Wow.
face, which is just
That's
crazy. I mean, it
that's very
looks
smart.
so good. Like, this looks unbelievably. So I wonder if that means the photogrammetry is moving too. It must be. I don't know. It's really good.
That's
Also,
a
yeah,
cool, yeah.
yeah. Also, I think putting something like this under glass always helps, because then it just is extra detail, and extra warping kind of sells that maybe
Mhm.
if it doesn't look perfect, this looks freaking perfect though. So I have no idea. So good. Gee, that is crazy. I cannot believe that was in a CG environment that lets you spin around the face. Like, dude, that
Yeah. That's a great
oh, what a
great way to go
trick.
about it. Seriously, like you're pulling it out here for this thing, man. This is awesome.
It's so good. Okay. Well, Epic Spaceman, very appropriate name. So good. Incredible. Did that so the lights could interact with his face. That's why he did it. And yeah, epic. God, incredible.
So good.
14 months
Yeah.
in Blender. What is going on
Can't wait
in
to
the
see that
world?
next one.
Yeah. Okay. So here's this one is dialogue heavy, so maybe I'll turn up the dialogue a little bit, but yeah. If anyone's been watching Book of Boba Fett.
A couple F-bombs on this one.
Oh
Just
yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing, but
Ah. Oh yeah, it is. I love the music.
Am I devious? Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Look who it is, everyone. It's only me. But as the old saying,
it's only me. It's like, that's so silly.
This is
Yeah,
it's
I
so well
laughed.
written. Yeah, I was
laughed.
laughing the whole time. I encourage everyone to go check out all of these, but this is from Alex S189, and I just wanted to share this short I released last night. All the animation was done in SmartSuit Pro in gloves, rendered in Unreal 4. Data that came out the other end was really solid, so didn't end up needing to do a lot of cleaning, apart from the filters tweaking and scaling some keys in Maya to get a bit more motion on the claws and finger data. Hoping to create a behind the scenes detailing the workflow over the next couple of weeks. Please do, because this was so crispy and good. Clint, what do you think?
Yeah,
Alex,
your lighting is
Alex is in chat too. He's giving a heart. And yeah, crazy. So good.
Yeah, the lighting is, and the animation and the set design and your pacing and even your writing
The writing,
is firing on all cylinders. It's funny. I was laughing. I'm like curious who this guy is. I'm so curious who this guy is. I'm a bit bothered that I feel like there's info that's kept from this video. I was just more curious, like, who is this guy? Why is he here? What is he doing? What does he want?
Do you not watch? Have you watched Book of Boba Fett?
No.
You don't watch anything, man. You gotta stop
Wait,
going
so-
outside.
So everyone knows.
I think
what is
everyone
going
knows who
on
this
except
is.
me?
Yeah, he's the robot servant of Boba Fett. I mean, I think you had a note. Who is Clem? I didn't know who Clem Johnson was either. But
Yeah.
I think
Why
it's
is he
very
pissed off?
topical. This is like,
So yeah, like I was like, why is he pissed off at that dude? He is this guy Steve? Is he calling him Steve? I don't know who the guy was and why he was pissed off at him.
yeah.
So that was confusing to me. I was also confused as he said, let's see.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so sorry. So that's why it sounds so good. So Steve is the actor who plays the droid in Boba
in
Fett.
real life.
In real life, Steve Clemson is his name, and all of the audio is clips pulled from this actor's other shows and cut together.
What?
So
Oh my
that's
God.
why the robot sounds exactly like it does on the show.
Oh my
which I was like,
God.
I don't understand if you went to Fiverr and got like a actor, but no, he pulled.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's nuts. Jeez. Yeah,
So
definitely. I would
smart.
love a BTS on this. Okay, well then maybe that's like, Here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. I think the way I might be in a very, very small minority on this, and I have more questions than the average viewer who would watch this. But I can guarantee you there are people who feel the same way as I feel about it, which is just a little bit of confusion. Like, who is this guy? Why is he here? What's he doing? And or maybe not. Maybe that doesn't matter because you're just doing it as like a joke for people who know what this is. Or I don't know if there's other episodes you've done that have some more information in it. I was thinking like, oh, okay, is this like I want to see a story with this, like what you put together, it leaves me with nothing at the end. And I want to know what's going to happen next. So like, is he going to get in trouble doing something? Like you can see here, he's kind of messing around, and it kind of reminded me of District 9, where you started with like a character being interviewed in this way, but then something goes wrong. He gets like sprayed in the eyes by like the alien juice or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, what's he going to do? Now you've started to spin a story. Right now, this is kind of just like a little highlight of this character, which is maybe all you want it to be.
Well, but it's also, I guess, yeah, it's interesting that he took a bunch of scenes and then made a story out of like dialogue, like clean dialogue that he found in other shows. And then put a robot filter over it, which is interesting.
That is
interesting.
Is a very, very cool way to go about it.
Very clever.
I never would have guessed. Yeah.
But limiting, I guess, in terms of, but yeah, I think, and he's also, he's also saying 100% on the, on it, maybe people not knowing what's going on, perhaps.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Typing right now.
I would also say at 44 seconds when those boar people, the pigmen, which probably have some. Yeah, I knew it. When they fist bump,
I think that's earlier.
Seconds. Yeah, it's at 44 seconds, I think. When they fist bump, there's no sound design there. Where's the sound design at? You know what I mean? Get some sound design in there, just a little bit.
Right here, boom. Yeah,
need some sound design there. There was a couple like moments where it was hard to hear what this robot was saying, so I wonder if some subtitles would help, perhaps. There's just like one or two moments.
5 might as well throw some subtitles.
Yeah. But like, just where's the story going was my only note. I want to know more. You
were taken in, and now you want more because.
Yeah, I really liked it, and I think your lighting and your composition and your shot choice and the way you made it feel realistic is editing. Like so good. Yeah, it's so good. Like I would love to see more in this world, just with a bit more story of like what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you could. This feels like it feels so. It feels like it could be a show or like something released. I don't just in terms of the editing and the beeps and like it feels like a behind the scenes. I don't know. It's really like even that zoom in.
Behind the scenes. Yeah.
It's so well done. I love the black frames or like work. It's like all part of the thing. It's like the little yeah.
Yo, but hold on. Go back. Was that an unbeveled edge? Go back. Right here.
Were you just saying something about beveled edges?
Boom, right there. That's an unbeveled edge.
Is it? It's big bevel.
No, look at that. No.
You're right here.
In the middle. Look at that. Where they meet.
Right
there. Yeah. Bevel them edges.
Getting your modeling sensibilities offended there.
See, you beveled the edges on the bot. You know what's up. I'm just messing with you. But not really. Bevel the edge.
But not really. And you can get the Bevel Your Edges t-shirt available now on Clint's store.
Oh man, that's a good one.
That's pretty good. Give me some of those proceeds, brah. Yeah. But man, again, as I said several times, all of these were so good, so cool to see the quality of work is just unbelievable.
Seriously, y'all are sending in final videos. Like, come on, these are great. These are awesome.
Yeah.
What can I say about these?
Alex S 189, Eric or Epic Spaceman, for now, not Eric, and Simon Breveld. Just incredible job, everyone.
Yeah,
So-
good stuff, y'all.
So good. I'm gonna stop my share. And yeah, I think that's it. I think man, thank you so much, Clint, for sticking around well past the time that we
Oh,
said
for
we were
sure,
gonna
man.
go. And
Yeah,
this
all
was so
good.
much fun. And yeah, let's end it with a little reminder about Infinite Journeys. How much time people have for it? You
They
still
have
13 more days, right? The end of the
no,
month.
they have 10. They got 10 days.
Oh, yeah, 10 days. Okay.
Yeah, so it ends on February 27th. Today is the 17th, 11:59 p.m. PST. So get it right in before midnight. Yeah, we're creating an awesome travel montage together. There's a file that I provide you guys, and you build out the vehicle however you want. There's just a few rules. It's all in the announcement video on my YouTube channel. It's all in there, and every single week I'm live streaming and creating alongside y'all as well. I'm doing my own submission, and yeah, there's crazy prizes. You can win the full Smart Suit Pro 2 bundle with the gloves and the facial capture and like the whole bundle as part of the grand prize. Also, Camp MoGraph is going to be flying y'all out to hit up Camp MoGraph later this year in Virginia on the beach for like 5 or 6 days. I'll be there. I think Sam is going to be there potentially. We'll see. And it's going to be amazing. Among other prizes, we got Wacom tablets, we got Looking glasses, we have Maxon One annual subscriptions, we got MoGraph.com courses as well. So come and hang out, make some art, and yeah, we're putting together a sweet montage in March. 2 of them actually, top 100 and all renders. So
and it's, even if you don't win, it's the prize is the journey, which, like, I say it like that, but it's true. It's so great to have something with you're trying to make intentionally, you're trying to finish, get it over the finish line, and man, it just pushes your skills forward. So I really do recommend everyone who's questions from people who are starting out in 3D, like, this is a great opportunity, and hop in the Punisher Discord. There's tons of great community there, as well as the Rococo Discord. But people are willing to help out, people are willing to give advice. Like, it's just a fantastic way to just get better and have a little fun. And
it's a good community, and like I'm glad that this feels so natural, like doing this with y'all. Between these communities, they're basically the same. As artists who are trying to like get better at what they do every day, and like trying to learn as much as possible. So I really appreciate y'all having me on here. Let's do it again, and I'm excited to see what all y'all do for this Infinite Journeys thing. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, man. And I think I'm going live in a little bit, and we're gonna be making more free mocap that you can use in your Infinite Journeys. Already made some sitting mocap. If you want it, it's up on the YouTube, so go grab it and feel free to use it.
That's great.
Yeah, should be good. Okay. I guess I don't know how to end these things. What do you say? Thanks for coming, Clint. Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely.
And
I'll see you
until
next
time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
See you on the stream. Okay.
Peace out.
See you guys.
Later.
Thanks for joining. Bye all.